You're not my type. And that was the beginning, not the end. Hey everyone, glad you're here. Today I want to share a story. Not about heartbreak exactly, but about clarity. About seeing something for what it is. And walking away before it costs you more than it should. Have you ever been on a date where halfway through, it suddenly hits you? You're not there to connect. You're being evaluated, graded, measured against a checklist you never agreed to. That was me, sitting across from a woman named Vanessa, when she looked me square in the face and said, "You're not my type." I didn't argue, didn't flinch. I paid the bill, stood up and walked away. But what happened before, and especially what came after, that's where the real story lies. The past that shaped the present. Before I ever matched with Vanessa, I had been through something that changed how I viewed relationships. My last serious relationship had gutted me. I gave Isabel, my ex, my time, loyalty, my entire emotional bandwidth. And still it wasn't enough. She took all of that for granted. When it finally ended, I was left questioning my worth. I felt disposable. Like the more I gave, the less I was respected. So I made a decision, no more dating, not until I rebuilt me. I hit the gym. Got my finances in order. Started waking up early, eating right, pushing my career to new levels. I didn't do it to impress anyone. I did it to feel whole again. Not to show up as a broken man looking for someone else to make him feel complete. For a long time I was good on my own. Peace. But as time passed, my friends started nudging me again. "You've done the work, man," they'd say. "You're not the same guy. You should get back out there." And part of me agreed. So, cautiously I made a dating profile. Picked out a few photos, wrote something honest in the bio, and dipped my toe back in. Enter Vanessa. When I came across Vanessa's profile, she caught my attention instantly. She had that kind of beauty that wasn't just in her photos. It was in the way she worded things. Confident, witty, just enough mystery to pull you in. Her first message to me said, "You look like you know what you're doing." "Do you?" Bold. Teasing. I liked it. Our conversations took off quickly. She was sharp, always ready with a comeback. But even then, I noticed a subtle edge to her. A sort of constant measuring. Like every reply was a test. But I kept going. I was intrigued. And yeah, I liked the attention. I started pulling away from other chats. There were a few women who were far more grounded, more respectful. But something about Vanessa made me zero in. She wasn't chasing me, she was challenging me. And I took the bait. After a few days of back and forth, I suggested we meet. The first red flag, and I ignored it. Setting up the date wasn't easy. She claimed her schedule was packed, but I gave her space to choose a time that worked. We finally picked a day. Then, hours before we were supposed to meet, she canceled. "Emergency," she said. No details. No attempt to reschedule. Just poof. That rubbed me the wrong way. Not because she canceled, life happens, but because of how she did it. No explanation. No effort to reconnect. Like I was just another item on her to-do list. Still I let it slide. 2 days later I reached out again. That's when she hit me with, "I don't do coffee dates. Only proper dinner dates at good restaurants." Now some guys might have walked away right there. But I figured maybe she'd been through some nonsense before. Maybe she just wanted to be taken seriously. So I chose a calm, classy place that struck the balance. Good food, quiet vibe, nothing too flashy. The date that spoke volumes. I arrived early, that's how I do things. It's about respect. I sat at the table, sipped water, watched the door. 10 minutes passed. Then 15. Still nothing. I sent a text. No reply. 20 minutes later she finally walked in, dropped into the seat across from me and sighed, "Ugh, traffic was ridiculous." "No, sorry I kept you waiting." Not even a hello. Just a sigh. In that moment I already knew. We were raised on different values. She didn't see this as a shared moment. She saw it as a performance she was judging. And I was the one on trial. But I smiled, stayed calm, and gave the night a chance. The waiter brought menus. Vanessa looked at them like they offended her. "Ugh, is this really all they have?" she muttered. When the waiter explained the specials, she barely looked at him, rolled her eyes, treated him like he was beneath her. I tried to pivot, asked about her hobbies, what she liked doing outside work. Short answers, glued to her phone. I paused mid-sentence once to see if she'd even notice. She didn't. Then came the interrogation. Do you own your place or rent? What kind of car do you drive? It wasn't curiosity. It was a checklist. At that point I made a decision. I downplayed everything. Told her I was still figuring things out. Just trying to build. She leaned back, crossed her arms and said, I mean, you're not really my type. I don't think this will work. I sat there for a second. Not because I was shocked, but because I was tallying up the time, energy and expectation I'd wasted just to arrive at this. Then I nodded. Got it. I waved the waiter over, paid for the meal, stood up and said, Enjoy your dinner. And I walked out. The fallout and the clarity. By the time I got home, I was emotionally drained. Not from heartbreak, from disappointment in myself for ignoring red flags. Then my phone lit up. It was Vanessa. Wow, that's it. You just leave. Like somehow I was supposed to chase her after all that. She wanted me to grovel for her validation. Play the game. I didn't respond. The next morning, another text. Real men don't give up that easily. Then another. You're weak. Couldn't handle a challenge. I laughed. This wasn't about connection. It was about power. About control. About whether I'd chase her after being mistreated. And when I didn't, she tried to shame me for it. Over the next few days, she started viewing my Instagram stories. Liking old pictures. Fishing. Then came the apology. I didn't mean what I said. I was just testing you. You passed the test, by the way. Cool. That confirmed everything. It was all a game. The coldness. The backhanded compliments. The aloofness. It was her way of auditioning men. I didn't respond. Then came the selfies. The flirty captions. The just thinking about you texts. Still no response. Finally she messaged. Can we meet again? Talk things through. I replied. Nah. I'm already talking to someone else. Don't want to complicate things. Then I blocked her. The lesson. After all that, I sat with myself and asked why I let it go that far. The truth is, I used to believe that if a woman was distant or cold, I had to work harder. Prove myself. Close the gap. I used to chase, thinking I was earning love. But love isn't something you win by playing a game. It's something you build with mutual respect. I don't hate Vanessa. If anything, I feel sorry for her. Because I know people like that believe being hard to please makes them high value. But really, they're just afraid to let anyone in. They measure love by how far you'll crawl, instead of how deeply you care. And I'm done crawling. So, when she said I wasn't her type, because I don't want to be anyone's type if that means sacrificing my dignity. Let me know your thoughts below. And remember, real love doesn't demand performance. It welcomes presence. Thanks for listening.